No one drifts into your orbit by pure luck. No hand reaches for you without a concealed cost stitched into its fingers. They gather around you, friends, lovers, competitors, strangers, not because you radiate virtue, but because you are an opportunity dressed in flesh. You are status, shelter, secrets, escape, attention, wealth, insight, even the guilty thrill of watching someone with potential stumble. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli tore apart this rosy fiction with ink that cut like steel. He declared men to be thankless, unpredictable, scheming, evasive, danger-averse, and greedy. That observation? Timeless. In a world where everyone is angling for an edge, your only choice is this: be the manipulated, or the one pulling strings. Be the coin spent, or the vault collecting interest. Step back. Examine the room. Every grin is a silent proposal. Every flattering word a token. Every favor a disguised transaction. You're not living in a community, you're bartering in a bazaar, where love, sympathy, and loyalty are just items for trade, as disposable as perfume or salt. Your mistake isn't that people take from you, it's pretending their taking isn't part of a deal. The modern psyche, fed on sugary slogans, treats kindness like a holy thing, divorced from consequence. Machiavelli sneers from his tomb, reminding us, mercy without strategy is a broadcast. It tells the world you can be used without cost. If you continue giving without parameters, you'll eventually wake up hollow, drained by your own unguarded goodness. When generosity isn't balanced by strategy, it turns against you. You must begin decoding the equations of desire. Every approach is driven by a hunger, and every hunger, if properly recognized, can be transformed into leverage. That colleague begging to borrow your idea, he's admitting your intellectual dominance. Turn it into influence. The lover clinging to your presence, she's declaring your absence would devastate her. Make her earn access through commitment. The relative who expects your time freely, he's admitting your time is more valuable than his request. Meet it with dignified boundaries. In this world, emotional debts accumulate interest, and interest quietly compounds into control. Make mental ledgers, audit them in silence, and eventually you will discover you've been managing rooms without ever raising your voice. They will call this cruel. They'll feign outrage when you assign value to what they hoped to take for free. Love, mentorship, kindness. They'll scream, shouldn't carry tags. Yet these same people vanish the moment your benefit to them runs dry. Their moral high ground, just a curtain hiding a machinery of self-interest they've used since birth. Machiavelli didn't invent this, it's always been there. He just handed us a clearer mirror. Stare into that mirror. The friend who sobbed at your wedding didn't blink at your foreclosure. The partner who once swore eternal love now calculates whether that love still pays returns. Strip the fantasy, and beneath the lullabies, you'll hear cold metal. Transactional clinks echoing in every embrace. But don't see this clarity as cynicism, it's your release. Once you understand utility, you're no longer enslaved by it, you become its master. Begin to inventory what you truly offer. Your charisma, your insight, your networks, your mystique, your looks, your secrets. Detail them with the precision of a merchant counting treasure. Then map the appetites around you. Who aches for attention? Who's chasing status? Who needs a guide? Who's desperate for community? Link their thirst to your reservoir, and you possess invisible chains, far stronger than any contract. This isn't manipulation, it's restoration. People already draw from your tree like it's public property. All you're doing is measuring the orchard, labeling the fruit, and choosing what to fertilize. You're turning what once drained you into something that sustains and, eventually, empowers. Scarcity is your dagger. Flooding others with yourself dilutes you. Give too much and they forget your worth. Instead, become like luxury goods. Rare, mysterious, high value. Appear less, withdraw often, re-emerge better, sharper, rebranded. Let your silence become marketing. Each absence inflates your next appearance. Lovers will grip tighter, Co-workers will grow tense, enemies will fidget, audiences will lean in. You become the one thing no algorithm can replicate, the rare encounter. Silence isn't emptiness, it's power. In a world of oversharers, saying little is seductive. While fools speak freely, revealing everything, the wise hide in ambiguity. Machiavelli taught rulers to bury their motives behind polished manners. You must do the same. When asked your plan, offer a riddle. When pushed for facts, redirect attention. Let others talk while you listen. Let them spill. The less they know about you, the more control you have over them. Information imbalance is the root of dominance. Own your narrative before someone else writes it. Craft your image like a sculptor chisels legend into stone. Emphasize your rarity, accentuate your edges, promote triumphs, conceal stumbles. Princes ruled with theater, so must you. Curated spectacles, strategic cruelty, and whispered myths. Translate this to the digital age. Feed the algorithm proof of strength. Post wins. Frame your reality. When critics arise, answer not with apology, but with evidence. Let outcomes do the speaking. Power doesn't justify itself, it demonstrates. But don't mistake control for greed. True power isn't clinging, it's timing. Learn when to pull the lever. Harvest favors only when the timing compounds them. One key that unlocks 5 gates. One whisper that collapses a rival and terrifies his circle. The amateur burns bridges for short-term flames. The strategist waits until the forest is dry, then lights one spark and walks away. Learn the logic of fear. Where there's desire, fear is always close by. Leverage sometimes grows faster from a threat than from a promise. The colleague who stole credit from you? Let him sense your awareness, just enough to keep him sweating, not swinging. The lover drifting into disloyalty? Let the silence between you whisper everything you could expose. Use fear like perfume, faint but unforgettable. Overuse poisons the well. Machiavelli warned, cruelty should be fast, benefits should be slow. Strike only when it cuts deepest. And when you give, let it drip slow, like gold melting from a high place. Don't confuse engineering outcomes with evil. To guide a desire is not to damage it. It's to architect the story that others have volunteered to play. People crave leadership. Offer it in the right tone and they'll follow you straight into the fire and thank you for the warmth. Reframe your intentions as mutual benefit. Lead with empathy. In a world of chaos, clarity feels like compassion. Control the destination and they'll call you a visionary, never realizing they were passengers. But never forget balance. Build systems of fair trade into your empire. Give value, but collect it back. Earn loyalty, but return it only while it's strategic. When its cost outweighs its use, sever it clean. No melodrama. Power gained through hollow deception crumbles. Power earned through conscious transaction endures and evolves. Machiavelli himself, often mistaken for a villain, praised virtue. Not naive kindness, but calculated discipline that commands respect. Be so sharp, so capable that others chase you. Audit your circle like a treasury. Every person must prove their ROI. Deadweight? Cut it. Catalysts? Elevate them. Guard your empire not with nostalgia, but with clear-eyed stewardship. The sentimental ruler is the easiest to dethrone. And beware the trap of guilt. Guilt for growing beyond stagnant friends. Guilt for setting limits with family. Guilt for choosing your evolution over others' comfort. That guilt is a leash, snapping your ambition back into mediocrity. Sever it. Guilt is the noose that makes the capable kneel. Step over it. Learn the art of scale through proximity. When you want to look large, stand beside the small. When you want to be taken seriously, stand among titans. Frame yourself based on your aim. When pitching high-value partnerships, align with giants. Let their clout echo around you. When building a personal myth, isolate yourself. Let them wonder why you stand alone. You are the painter of perception. The brush is contrast. And time. Time is your rarest treasure. Unlike money, it doesn't regenerate, so treat it like an empress. Anyone who assumes they're owed your time is already stealing. Charge them, whether in money, access, insight, or deny them altogether. Then observe who recoils when the flow stops. Their outrage? A confession. File it under useful data. Expect to be called ruthless. The world worships softness while feeding on sharpness. They will shame you for keeping ledgers, for accounting value, for closing doors. Smile. Let them talk. Let them spend breath while you build influence, wealth, and quiet dominion. Because in the end, they'll return, especially when chaos hits. Because results, not sentiments, write the final chapter. But power intoxicates, be warned. The same levers you pull in others exist in you. The same ego you exploit in others will whisper lies into your own blood, that you're untouchable, that you are above consequences. You're not. Remember Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's muse. A genius of war and manipulation, undone not by his enemies, but by time and change. The storm shifts. Prepare now, build exits while the sun shines, train successors, diversify assets, seed future moves before the current ones exhaust. The ruler who prepares for twilight lives long enough to greet the next sunrise. Understand generosity not as charity, but as strategic release. The perfectly timed gift creates lifelong obligation. The secret? Calibrate it. Give enough to dazzle, not to equalize. Keep others feeling fortunate, not satisfied. Nations do this with stimulus checks that soothe, but don't solve. You do it with insight, introductions, and access, each one designed to make them want more, and know they'll need you to get it. Create an ecosystem where people can rise, but only with your hand on the lever. Give mentees their first tools, but guard the blueprints. Let them ascend only as far as their loyalty reaches. Kindness will soften their defenses. Coldness will enforce your rules. Master both. Let them sense that under the silk you wear steel, a velvet hand with brass beneath it. You rarely need to strike. The awareness that you could is enough. Never go to war when a whisper will do. Public attacks create martyrs. Confrontation draws attention. Better to drain their resources quietly. Erode their trust, their alliances, their reputation. Redirect their momentum. Let them stumble on their own flaws, while your fingerprints remain absent. When they fall, the world will clap for your rise and never know why. Preserve mystery. A half-told past becomes a legend. Drop fragments of hardship, but conceal details. Let the world fill in the blanks with stories far grander than the truth. Because myth is magnetic. People believe stories, not spreadsheets. Let your history become a whispered tale, memorable in 2 lines. The underdog, the visionary, the comeback. Strip complexity, leave impact. And yes, stage humility. Let the crowd see you bleed, but only in the ways you choose. A small failure, a misstep. Admit it publicly, overcorrect swiftly, then pivot to your next triumph. This resets perception and shields your empire from scandal. The mob will always hunger for outrage, but it forgets quickly. Feed it the drama you've scripted, so it doesn't dig for the drama you haven't. Influence lives where perception is shaped. In the digital age, algorithms are your silent gatekeepers, unfeeling but programmable. Learn their language. Control visibility by engineering engagement, seeding strategic storms, and flagging rivals through invisible hands. Let platforms reward you not by chance, but because you've made them dependent on your presence. Build systems with exit costs so high that clients, partners, even critics hesitate to leave. Make detachment painful. Like Apple's cables, Amazon's perks, or religion's eternal stakes, tie value to staying, doubt to leaving. Inside your empire, build for change. Destroy what's obsolete before competitors do. Reward failure that teaches. Punish comfort that stalls. Reinvent so often they can't predict you. Legacy isn't retreat, it's empire coded in culture. Let your values become doctrine, your playbook become ritual. When you vanish, your name should still move levers. That's not ego, that's architecture.